My name is Susan Morrow. Um, I am, I've lived in Dallas for almost 28 years, and my profession, my background is reputation management, public relations. I've owned my own firm since 1994, and since that time I work with a number of companies, individuals, in a variety of industries, helping them with strategic communications, planning, crisis communications, and overall, preparation for media, publicity, and general reputation management activities. So I like to say that I keep companies and individuals out of trouble. So but I promote them, and I preserve their reputation, and then protect them. So I love what I do because of the people I meet, and the number of fabulous people, both in individually, but also in companies that I've worked with, and in such a diversified group of industries. Your invitation and that of Yvette to come and tell story. I'm here because I believe so much in what you all are doing for women, and all the different, I think, future activities and conferences and ventures, all to, I think, elevate women to other levels. And I applaud you all for that. So I'm excited about being here. My story, first, I published my first book within the last couple of months. It's called Unbreak My Heart, Meeting My Children as Strangers. And it is the story of my journey with my two children, Monica and David, who were abducted by their father and taken to Mexico. I spent almost 12 and a half, close to 13 years really, in searching for them. And upon finding them, which I did, was to me the beginning of the journey to rebuild our relationship. Because at the time that I met them, after all those years, they were strangers. Both I was a stranger to them, they were strangers to me. My daughter was almost 6 when she was abducted. David was a year and a half. So by the time I found them, they were teenagers, almost out of school, high school, and it was, to me, the most difficult part of the whole situation of even searching. But due to I think, both children and me, at some point, I felt we would one day connect again. And they thought, when we first met, that first I was dead. They thought if I had been alive, why had I not come and find them sooner? And I knew that, even having a friendship would be difficult, but I was determined that we would begin a relationship. And so we did, very slowly, but one step at a time. We began to get to know each other, just as you would someone you just meet for the first time. And finally, over the course of years, and it is still, we are building our relationship as a family. I found the children in 1999, and it was about 5 years ago when my son first called me Mom. It was on my birthday. And then about a year later, Monica did the same for Mother's Day. Up to then, they had had no contact, or had no acknowledgement. And I believed, and I've always wanted to write the book about this journey and what it's like to come together again and to rebuild who we are, defining who we are, and identifying and finding out that we like, there's blood connection. We have different things in common. Monica and David are very different. as individuals. And I wanted to showcase this for other families who may have gone through that situation, or others who have been reunited with a family member, even an adopted child who had searched for their natural parents, meeting them again. And so the book took a long time. It was 4 or 5 years in the making, and finally, as I said, it was finally published. And what I hope, my goal for the book, I hope, will be to help other parents, tips, guidelines, resources, perhaps for them that may help, and hopefully be a source of inspiration and hope, because at the basis of all was love. Well, I worked very closely, and I still do today, with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And through a contact, actually my husband today knows a gentleman who had a contact with a man who did work with the National Center. He was actually an investigator, but also worked in law enforcement as well. And his focus for his life had been to find missing children. And when we met, he said that he would do what he could to see if he had contacts in Mexico. And so through his contacts, located an attorney, believe it or not, in Mexico City, who they had some leads to where they might be. They during the course of while they were gone, they would move from place to place. And so fortunately, some of the leads were such that they felt that one of them would be the answer, which along with the attorney and a couple of other people, located them in a city just west of Mexico City, Toluca. And they found both children in schools. And I had done a video a couple years prior to, and so they took the video to my daughter's school. They decided, with Monica being the oldest, that would be to start with her, and that's what happened. They found Monica and presented with the video, and that, it was from their mom. And so it started, the beginning, the connection, the reconnection. And so phone calls and my going down there and, meeting him for the first time. Well, the father is still in Mexico. He is actually a Mexican national. He remained by the law statutes had expired from here. There was a point where if he had come back into the U.S., he would have been arrested for child abduction. That all being said, still with laws today, it is not as easy to, again, arrest someone for family abduction. It's a domestic issue. There's still a lot of conflicts, and particularly among, whether it's law enforcement or even among governmental agencies. But that it is changing, fortunately. There is an agreement with countries today called the Hague Treaty, in which one country works with the United States in helping to find children, recover children, and reunite them with the parents from where they were abducted. At the time when Monica and David were abducted, Mexico had not signed such a treaty. Furthermore, it was not grandfathered by the time when we were going through the process. So, unfortunately, it's such that nothing could really be done in terms of him. Now he is still in Mexico, and the children, definitely have contact. In fact, he lives with my daughter. They're both still in Mexico. So you never give up hope. I think patience. I'm not a patient person. With my children, I've been patient, and because of love, I think has definitely driven that. And I think parents today, or anyone, there is always, there's a door. Sometimes you don't know what that door is. I believe that it happens when it's meant to happen, and I believe that with my whole heart. But I think with patience, with hope, there is always someone who may know something, and there is an answer, and that if they believe and they really want to connect again with their children and find their children, it's being patient. Today there are resources, there is help. Reach out for that help, and hopefully that they will, be successful. My faith. I truly believe that my belief in God, and I knew that I was not alone, yet many times I felt very alone, but yet I knew that I was there. God was there with me, that ultimately I would be successful. I just knew. I don't know why I knew. I just knew. It was, when I was searching. I also found I wanted to be better for myself, and I took this time to grow, because at first I came totally unglued, and I had direction. I could have gone in total destruction. I sought therapy. I had trouble finding counselors, therapists who really understood. I credit a lot to my husband today, Earl, who was there, who I met about a year after the children were abducted. He supported, he believed as well that we would be successful. He believed in the journey. But I think most of all, what I found out, I learned a lot about what I wanted and who I wanted to be, because I knew that no matter what, when I did find Monica and David, I would be stronger. I would be the person that they would want in order for me to help them. Now, after I found them, and with the emotions, with the anger, with all, the various issues, and, you take one step forward, 3 steps, the classic cliche, but I still felt, and I believed, all I could be was who I was. And after going through this, I think at first, the 3 of us being on our good behavior, so to speak, being like company, when we finally decided, let's be just real, and I decided I am who I am. And they became really who they were, and with all the flaws, with all the good, and I think that's what it's about. It really is, because if they love me, or if it's going to be who I am, not who I think they want me to be. Well, first, I am currently working, I'm a consultant with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. I oversee the family abduction team. I have a group of 20 volunteers, and we work with domestic and international child abduction cases. And I found myself beginning to speak to different conferences, to different groups, people. My goal with the group is to do just that, is to speak to different organizations, to parents, families, mental health professionals, law enforcement, attorneys, any groups of people who I think would benefit perhaps from knowing not only the background, some of the tips, some help, and really understanding the whole issue, be it family abduction, but also really family reunification. And so that's my goal. Right now I'm in a soft launch mode with my book. We'll officially launch hopefully here in another month and a half. And then, like I said, my goal will be then to go out and speak to as many, and particularly women. I'm really an advocate to speak both to, women, English-speaking women. I speak Spanish, so also to the Spanish market as well. So I'm excited. I have no idea what the future is going to hold, but I'm excited about it. I'm even thinking already about the next book, and so I'm toying with some thoughts. But I just really believe wholeheartedly that the more that I could create awareness with groups of and organizations, people, individuals, and if I could make a difference, maybe, one or two, that would be wonderful. Where the book goes, I have no idea. It could take some other. I know what a dream I have that would be, but I don't know if that will be. But to me, I open it up. I'm toying with the idea of looking at to the next generation. My daughter is getting married in April, and my son, well, is back with his girlfriend, so who knows? He will ultimately, get married. But what I'm looking at is looking at what their children might be, and how they're looking at their issue, their family dynamics, and what that's about. I don't know, I'm looking at that. I've also toyed with the idea of, I lived in Mexico for 7 years, and I've been thinking about telling that story. What took me, why did I move to Mexico? What was that journey like? And how that then affected later life. I'll start first by, I was fortunate that I had a job. This was before I started the business. I was working for a company. It was a software company. And I was very fortunate that my boss, when this happened, actually it happened when I was on a business trip for the company. And my boss believed that, and I will never forget this, when he came in to my office just after I came back to work and said some people would not be able to handle this, could not continue working. He said he believed that I could. And he felt I was tenacious enough to make it happen. I was grateful to him because and for some, that's not always the case. For some family, individuals, they lose their job. So this gave me a sense of, obviously, foundation. It gave me a means by which to survive, obviously. But it helped to balance what I was doing in terms of searching for the children. I say that in that what I began to learn was the fact I was this person during the day, professional, doing all this. And I also did some work with the Public Relations Society of America. I was busy, and the more I could be busy, that was great because I kept my mind. And then at night, so to speak, then, okay, that person shuts down. Now I'm the personal looking for my children. So I felt I was two people. And yeah, I'm a survivor, I'm all of that. But I thought, no, then two don't come together until I realized they're all one and the same. And so maybe that was the faith stuff. And it wasn't the fact that I had to go to church all the time. No. Although I connected myself with people involved with church, ultimately did join a church. I believe my husband and I got married. I mean, we decided to move on when we could see things weren't moving as quickly. But our goal was always to find the children. And that was there. That was at the basis. And I found, like I said, I sought therapy to help, I think, which it did. But to me, it was, again, keeping balance, keeping straight, even starting the business. But it was all with the goal that one day I would find Monica and David. Well, I felt if I stopped, I wouldn't be anything to the kids when I found them. What would I be? And I didn't want that. And, yeah, maybe I'm a survivor by nature. Yeah, probably. All of that. But it's something within me that just is important. to be strong. And I think women are. Sometimes we just don't know it. I think women have incredible, versatile capabilities. I think it's unlimited what women can do. And both emotionally, professionally, personally. I think sometimes they, because of mores of, whether it's society, whether it's families, whether it's to not exude the confidence or discover the confidence within to do that, or to open themselves up to the possibilities. And women are incredible. They can do so much and achieve so much by being who they are. I found myself, just being who you are. We do so much trying to find out who we would like to be or what would be, or others that are, no. I've met some incredible women who, in fact, a good example, I spoke with a woman last night. She's a volunteer on my team with the National Center. And I know her well. She went through a similar situation with 3 children, international situation from India. This woman has moved on. She's incredibly successful as a businesswoman. She's a writer. She's moved on. She's married now. She just got married a couple months ago. She's moved on and making it work. It's not an ideal situation right now with her children. But to me, I admire someone, because that's, and so many out there, real people doing real things. They may not be known, in the news, or they may not know, but these are people who are making it happen, and they're remaining positive. I love that. And I think women can do that. And I think they should just allow themselves that opportunity to be who they are.